owned a television in 12 years, but Bex, Ella, and I purchased our first TV.
Congratulations.
In 12 years. Well, either congratulations or throw tomatoes at me. I don't know which. And I want to talk about this because there's an evolution that happened here.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to be clear about something. If I live by myself, and I don't think it's morally right or wrong to own a TV, obviously, but if I just live by myself 100% of the time, there's no way I would have home internet or have a TV at home.
Mm-hmm.
Well, why is that? Because for me alone, when I'm by myself, it's too tempting and it gets in the way of things I would rather be doing. Reading, writing, exercising being the big three for me. It gets in the way of that. However, I need to also recognize that my own preferences, I can't map them on to everyone else in my household like a corrections officer. Here's how we're living, no matter what. Now, of course, we can have non-negotiables in a home, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I couldn't tolerate if Beck started smoking in the house, or especially if Ella started smoking. Ella, you're 9. What are you doing?
What? Ella, why do you look so cool?
I saw it on the commercial. So what we decided recently was, hey, we want a TV. Well, really, Bex and Ella want a TV, and I can tolerate it. And truth be told, I too, with the right boundaries, can get value from owning a TV. So what you see right here is a picture of our living room. Now, the number one way that I get value from our TV now is 98% of the time that we use this TV, I use it to project art. And so we don't put artwork on the walls generally, but I do have art on the TV. And so I will find these YouTube videos. In fact, we'll put a link to this particular video in the show notes over at theminimalists.com/podcast for this episode. And what I do is I have art on the wall and it just changes regularly. Now you might be looking at this picture and saying, how does he afford a Clara Peters painting? She's a 17th century Dutch painter, obviously.
Yes.
Ryan knew that, but for TK's benefit.
Right.
I don't have to buy her art. It's simply there on my wall and it changes out every 5 minutes. This is how I use the TV 98% of the time. It doesn't mean I'm better for doing it that way, but this is how I personally get value from it because I think TVs are ugly. Especially there's there on the wall, even though we have it situated there and we have it so there are no wires showing or anything. So it's aesthetically okay, but putting art on it actually makes the whole living room aesthetically pleasing. So here's what I do now. Every morning I wake up, I'll do the ice bath, and then I'll get a cup of coffee, and I'll go sit on the couch and read, and I'll turn on the TV and have the art right there. And I'll put Zen Garden playlists playing in the background, and I will read with the art on the wall. And now I'm not watching TV. I'm not bothered by the TV. In fact, the TV is enhancing that experience. A couple other boundaries that really help me because I have trouble with impulse control. Here's one boundary. I don't have a TV in my bedroom. I don't have a TV anywhere else in the house that's going to distract me. The bedroom for me is meant for two things, neither of which involve a remote control. Although now that I think about it, that's a different thing. We'll set that aside. Also, I have some rules around watching the TV. We always schedule in advance, so we don't watch the TV haphazardly or impromptu. Hey, would you like to watch something tomorrow night? Great. We'll put it on the calendar. And if we're going to binge watch something, here's another boundary that I have. This works for me. May or may not work for you. We never binge more than 2 episodes. That's binging for us, 2. So I never watch 2 days in a row as well. So if we binge something, then I'm not going to watch something tomorrow. And then we'll schedule maybe something for the next day if we want to schedule it there. But that way I'm making sure the viewing doesn't get in the way of the things that I know are more meaningful to me. Even though the TV might be more compelling for me in the moment, I recognize that impulse I have to stave off. Did you enjoy this standalone Patreon highlight? If so, you can listen to full episodes of the Minimalist Private Podcast, available exclusively on Patreon. Visit patreon.com/theminimalists or click the link in the description. Your support keeps our podcast and YouTube channel 100% advertisement free.